Welcome into the Tour Coach, everybody. Once again, I'm your host, Tony Ruggiero, here on the Tour Coach podcast. Big few weeks coming up. I'm going to be headed this week to Live event in Spain, in Andalusia, Spain. Looking forward to that. And then up to the Open Championship in Scotland. And as we've been doing all through the summer, spring and summer, leading up to and through each major, we're running a contest here on the Tour Coach as well as on our DewSweeper TV, on our YouTube page with the Pro Work episodes that are out. We're going to give away a set of Srixon irons. We're going to draw the Monday after the British Open, the Open Championship for everybody. We're going to give away a set of Srixon irons to one lucky winner. We're going to give away a Wingman Mini from Bushnell. And we're going to give away a little DewSweeper Vineyard Vines prize pack. All you have to do to register for this drawing is go to DewSweeper TV on YouTube. That's DewSweeper TV on YouTube, where you can watch some of our podcasts in video and some live action. But on any of those, all you got to do is like, subscribe, and comment on any video, hashtag ProWork, hashtag DewSweeper TV, or hashtag Tour Coach. So make sure you check us out on DewSweeper TV on YouTube. Great contest going on through the Open Championship, and we've got so much good stuff going on here on the podcast, and with all the content we're coming out. If you're listening, you probably know these are the people and the stories and the folks that I work with, meet with, run across, teach in my daily day-to-day travels, from whether it's in Mobile at my studio to down at Old Palm in Palm Beach Gardens, or maybe even hanging out at Joey D's gym a little with Colby Touye and Aaron McConley, or up at Bluebell in Philly, or a live event or a tour event, or wherever it is we may travel teaching the game of golf. We're going to be bringing it to you here on the Tour Coach. It's insight designed to help you teach, grow, and play the game better. Hopefully you'll enjoy this. And once again, before I get out of here and let you listen to one of our discussions, none of this would be possible without my boy Mitch McConnell, McConnell Automotive, Buick GMC, Bushnell Golf, Srixon Cleveland Golf, and of course the folks back home, Stokely's Midtown Garden Center. You can't forget Blaine, or Taylor, Martino, and Rowan, our boy Ed Rowan. But thanks for all the support through all the years. Keep listening here to the Tour Coach. Go to DewSweeper TV on YouTube. I think you're going to like what you see, and a good chance to win some irons and some other cool gifts from Bushnell and Vineyard Vines through the end of the Open. First time we've ever done this. Nobody's watching yet, but it's going to be out on the Tour Coach. So JP, we're going to do this for about 10, 12, 14 minutes.
Okay.
At Troon, we're at a bar somewhere in Prestwick, getting ready to go have a nice Italian dinner. Let's talk, first of all, what's it been like coming back with Brian Harman as the champion golfer of the year? Has to be pretty dang cool.
Very, very special. Tony, I met Jeremy, Brian's agent, in Edinburgh Airport on Sunday morning, and he had the jug with him. And the RNA were kind enough to give us a ride down. They were going to courier the jug from St Simon's back to Troon, but there was a pretty astronomical price to try and get them, I guess, the insurance and bits and pieces. But so we got down here Sunday. Brian got in a little bit late. It was interesting, he said to us, I want to spend one more night with the jug, which was
I think that's a great story. I think that's cool.
And he, we watched the football, I can call it football over here, soccer.
Soccer.
We had a nice time. We were in the Marine Hotel, and Johnson Wagner and his son joined us, and Jeremy, myself, and Brian, and we reminisced a little bit about the year, and he's very, very proud of his accomplishments and where he is in the game, and I think he's done a great job handling all of the different things. He had a lot to do on Monday morning. He did the official handover at about midday on Monday, and did a lot of press and bits and pieces, and we've got a couple of nice practice rounds, and having a bit of a rest tonight, and you and I are out for dinner. The boys are resting, and they're not going to be doing what you and I are doing
tonight.
But a real special week. Troon is an incredible venue. I think it's one of the best links courses on the Rota. It poses so many different problems for players, and I'm really excited to get out there and watch some golf tomorrow.
Okay, two questions. One, going back to Brian, I saw a quote actually today on social media that I thought was great for golfers, where he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said, you really don't understand, like, you appreciate the major more when you've had bad times in golf and low points. And I think that was a great quote. That really hit home to me, because you and I, we talk a lot. Like, as teachers, we have ups and you have downs, and as players, we have these players, you know, and not everything's always great. Talk a little bit about that, because everybody thinks that some of these guys, like, not everybody's Tiger Woods, right? Or Jack Nicklaus. Most of these guys have ups and the thrill of winning a major, but they've also had huge down periods.
You know, and that's, you know, I think Brian Harman, we're talking about Brian Harman. Brian's always had an incredible ceiling. He's a fabulous player. He's been a great player, really all of his life. You know, even from the junior days. And
was a tremendous, one of the best junior players in the world.
And you know, our job really is to make sure that the floor continues to rise up, so that those difficult times, they don't drop so much during those difficult times that their confidence would dissipate and their technique dissipates. They try a lot of different stuff. And I think, you know, having moved to Sea Island, and, you know, obviously I was at a different part of my career than Jack Lumpkin was, and Jack was an older coach and hadn't quite the time to be able to be traveling and things like that. You know, I've kind of maybe been able to make sure that Brian's difficult times, kind of the floor rises up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we know the ceiling's good. You know, when these guys are on, they can go and do amazing things. And with some of the processes, some of the physical work that he's done, I would say some of the structural work that he's done on his. We've seen his routines. You guys are going to see his routines really improve this week. The way that he's kind of routinized his ball striking, you know, country Scott's way, and Brian do a great job for the most part on his putting. I get called in the odd time, but, you know, again, we're trying to make sure we raise that floor a little bit. We know the ceiling's pretty high, and, you know, hopefully in the latter half of his career, Brian can have a good consistent run. From what I saw, he was inside of 15 feet all day on the back nine at Troon today, which was pretty good to watch.
So that's it. We're talking about the back nine at Troon. Yesterday, it blew straight in, blew 20 to 30.
Which is, it's okay. I mean, 20 to 30 here isn't, like, that's not a nightmare win. That's just a win.
But it was hard. In fact, DJ came in and said, I mean, that's the hardest damn golf course I ever played. And Andy Ogletree played with DJ today, and we were on one of the holes, I think like 10 or 11, and somebody, we were talking about yesterday, and DJ goes, I hit 4 3-woods into par 4s. I kept asking which one was a par 5, right? So, like, I haven't been to as many of them, the places you. To me, this is a great test of golf, and that back nine is a really, really hard test of golf. Obviously, wind affects things, but even without the wind, that back nine is a stern test.
Well, it's a incredible bit of land. I was chatting to one of the guys today, like, Royal County Down isn't that far from here, although we've got the Irish Sea to separate it, and it's very, very similar sort of topography to Royal County Down and Royal Portrush. True links, you know, Troon goes straight out and straight back in, so you're either going to get into the wind downwind or you're going to get crosswinds all day. And as you say, you know, like, when you're playing that front nine straight downwind, when you're hitting wedge shots, 9 irons into those first like 3 or 4 holes, it's difficult because the green's kind of sneaky. They tip a little bit front to back, so it's difficult. You're going to have to start landing it short of the green. And then if you turn and you play those holes, like 10 is a really, really demanding tee shot, kind of over a sand hill, line. You don't really know exactly where the fairway is, so you've got to really trust your line. 11's not dissimilar to that. Very, very challenging second shot. You know, and then when you turn into 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, you're just going straight into the wind the whole way. So
par 3s are really, really tough.
Yeah, they extended the 4th hole. You know, like 17 is no joke. Like, coming in there, I think, you know, it's 240 or
240. So yesterday, into that wind, true story. Andy was playing with Phil Mickelson, just the two of them. Phil hit driver into the 17. Andy hit 3-wood, and DJ told us today that he hit 3-wood pin high, and he said he roasted it. He said he hit it hard. Like, that's a hard ass hole, right?
So, you know, again, it's like the Open is very, very attritional. You have to control your ball flight. You got to control your emotions. Hopefully, you know, for me, it's like when you come over here and you put all this time and all this effort in, it'll be lovely just to see like a fairly regulated day. If it's horrendous at the start of the day, let's hope it's horrendous all day.
Doesn't always work out that way.
In 2016 at Troon, you know, they were doing a little statistic analysis today with, like Rex Horgard was saying that, you know, this when they were here last time, I don't think anybody from one side of the draw finished in the top 15. Horace English was asked a couple of questions about his draw. I think he shot like 73 first
right.
2 rounds. And like he was almost one of the leading players from that side of the draw he was in. So you get that at the Open. It's, you know, it's difficult. Right. It looks like the weather's kind of started to sort of settle a little bit. So hopefully we get, you know, again, I get kind of 2 standardized days so that everyone gets a fair shot at playing the golf course.
I was here in 16, and Smiley, I was with Smiley, who's broadcasting now. Smiley, see how good a job I did teaching? Smiley was on the bad side of the draw and only missed the cut by a shot or so.
So he played great.
Played really good golf. You know, that first day, I believe it was, the wind was blowing. It was, like you said, it was crosswinds. So difficult on that back 9. That hole 11 with the railroad.
They call the railway hole.
With the gorse on the left, railway out of bounds on the right, with the crosswind. That's as hard a golf hole as you could ever play.
It's brutal. So, you know, we worked a lot on like low flighted drivers, you know, low flighted long irons for the first 3 tee shots, which are, you know, nerve-wracking for any of these guys at the Open. You know, making sure that they're able to be offensive from not like 120 to 150 range for those first few holes. You know, it's going to be very, very difficult. The golf course is going to be very difficult. You know, if they get any weather at all, the rough. You know, I was out walking with Brian, and he never was in any rough, which was great. But if that rough gets wet, it's going to be really, really hard. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. The golf course. The condition is incredible. The Open Championship is very, very special. It's so different to the Masters. I was chatting with Louis, his caddy, Dutchie, Vineyard Standler. We know him as Dutchie, and you know, he loves the Masters, and he just says it's so different. The vibe at the Open is just so different to the Masters, and it's you know, we're very fortunate to be at these big events.
I think the Masters and the Open are the 2 most original or different, and I think they are clearly the ones that stand alone. I really do. So kind of as we wrap this up in the next couple minutes, like to me, one of the things we talked about today was how important chipping is and how important it is to make 5 and 6 footers. Because Andy thought with some of the rough, some of the bunkering, like you're going to have to make a lot of 5 and 6 footers. And yesterday, Phil talked about lag putting and how with the rough and some of the things, you can get a lot of 50 footers, and then you're going to leave yourself a bunch of 4 or 5 footers. How important that is to scoring.
You know, speed control, I think, is very, very important. Like whether we're talking about chipping or long putting, I think speed control is huge. I mean, I also think being able to strike the golf ball well on the greens is really important on links courses. The greens are a little bit faster than they were at Renaissance, but they're not a great deal faster. A lot of little sort of subtle breaks on these greens. So making sure that you strike it well, get it started on your intended line, because they're not like American greens where you're kind of sometimes just almost starting it off on a line.
Right.
You're having to hit it on a line. So you got to hit it on a line, hit it well, and make sure it's rolling end over end. And I think that's certainly something we saw Brian Harmon do beautifully last year. Hoylake, you know, he got the ball started on his intended line and struck it so well that it kind of stayed where he put it.
Well, JP, I think it's time for us to go get some Italian food.
Right.
Hopefully, one of us again has the champion golfer of the year.
That would be amazing.
I may force you to do another one of these with me tomorrow somewhere, maybe out on the golf course. So hopefully everybody enjoyed this, and we'll catch up with you soon.